Hello once more. I am back with another guide to Final Fantasy XI. This time it is a guide to the key item Crimson Orb, which you need for the Limit Break Whence Blows the Wind to raise your level cap to level 65. So we want to come here to Davoi at the little crack here of Jugner Forest at G12 down here in the south. Of course, you can always ride the survival guide if you already have it for whatever reason. So if this is your first time in Davoi, you want to pick up the survival guide. And you probably want to follow the kitty cat because, well, this can be a little bit convoluted to get to. Our goal is all the way down in H11, which, again, maps like mazes. So if you just want to follow along with where I go, that is cool. You may need sneak and invisible at some point in time. Well, just invisible here, I believe. You may also want re-raise in case things go horribly, horribly wrong, but I'll digress on that point myself and just kind of lead you through. And the cat's going to make a stinky face at me. So basically, you just kind of want to make sure nobody's going to attack you, which I could see through a cat, I could tell you. Kitty. Kitty, kitty. You can come be a lap cat? My stomach hates me, but you can come be a lap cat if you want to. So if you're curious, you can just kind of check the enemies at a distance and make sure they're not going to give you a bad day. What you're looking for is too weak. If they're not too weak, then you probably want invisible. And you want to make your way through this section of the area here, and eventually find your way to this path here, as you can see on the map. Hooray for kitty cats. They are treasures. So you want to kind of make your way this way, I believe. And the path we want is, actually, this way. And like I said, you can check these guys to make sure they're not going to be problems. I am level 60 as I'm here for the limit break, obviously. And if you are too, then, well, this guide is about perfect. Try to entice the cat onto my lap and out of my direct vision blocking area. I can brain. So as we get to the end here, we want to head this way, which is south, I believe. And then continue south here at the intersection. Now, let's see. Easy prey, but I don't think they will aggro. If they do, you can just run into the next area and zone them off of you. Just like this. And now that we're in the monastic cavern and my lap has been catted, we want to bring up some sneak. Or invisible, actually. You'll only need invisible through this area. You should not need sneak at all. Hopefully we have all of our maps. Maps are important. We're heading to the little curly at, what is that? That is, looks to be I-8. Now, quickest way to get there is to follow the kitty, of course. Now these guys will definitely aggro you. They're only easy prey. But they will definitely aggro if they spot you. Maybe. No, not 100% sure. Now you can use invisible. You can use... Where in the world have I gotten to now? You can use invisible. You can use an item that gives you an enchantment for invisible. You can use prism powder. Or you can pull out your truss and just go ham. Delicious ham. on all of these critters in the caves. But yeah, you want to head into the tunnels at the far end of the cave and wind your way eventually to the main hallway there. It doesn't really matter which way you go in. You can go in from either one. Nothing's blocked unlike some other maps. And you can just kind of wander through. Alright, now these guys are definitely higher level. Yes. And they will definitely aggro you. So you do want to have invisible here. Just like in the next section. So as we come on down through here, we enter the main hallway, and we want to hang a right there. And I believe we want the next right as well. Let me just double check. And yes, that is the one we want. Now you head up this little area here, and eventually you will zone back out to Davoi. This is why we have maps. If I mentioned maps are important, because maps are important. Now once you zone out, do not move. I cannot stress that enough. Do not move once you zone out of here. And of course, now that you've zoned back out into Davoi, there's something you want. And it's trusts, actually. Once every trust's all set, you want to get invisible back. Because these critters here are tough. And they are not fun to deal with. Very tough. High defense, yes. Do not want to deal with. And they're all the way to where you're going. And where are we going? Well, we're going this way. You see where on the map we are now? That doesn't brain right. Anyway, my brain is not braining, so I want to continue on this way and head south when you get to the edge here. Because that will take you to this thing, the Wall of Banishing. Now, you want to be very careful here. You want to wait till all these guys have their eyes off of you. And they're not moving, and not like that. And you want to touch the door. Now, you're probably going to want to fight these guys, which sucks. So, yes, if all goes well, you won't have to do what I just did. You want to make your way here and touch the Wall of Banishing and see that there may be some way to break through. And now you want to put your invisible back up. And hopefully not have to fight your way through a bunch more of these guys. Now from here you want to head north. And you want to stay heading north at the crossroads. Up past whatever critters may be in your way, and make your way across the bridge to this short critter here. You want to drop invisible so you can chat with him. And you'll have a cutscene. Or a short conversation, after which you'll get the key item, White Orb. Now, where are we going to go with this White Orb? Well, you can see the little off-color sections and some of the little lumps on the outskirts of the map. Well, those are where we're going. But we've got to make it back through the awful spot we just went through. So you're going to want to invisible up once more. And once you're invisible, you want to head back out across the bridge. Now we're taking these to the various crimson ponds around the map. So we want to hang our right here and head west, I think it is. My eyes are not sharp, so I believe that's what it is. And just head your way back down pretty much the way we came at this point. Across the bridge and back into the hole to the monastic cavern. Now, if you... well, I'll digress on that one. We're going to head down on in here. Of course, just like before, if once you're back in the cavern, you want to exercise a good chunk of chill and get your invisible back up, whichever way you're doing it. And head on down to pretty much, again, basically the same way we came. down to the main hallway, and back out to the main chamber. Hang a left at the hallway, hang a next left once you get through, and you'll just head on out. Hopefully super easy. Sort of. You know, if you don't pay much attention to all the things that will jump on you and try to feast on your buttocks as you're going past them. You just want to make your way through the hallway, back out here to this big main chamber, and then south to the exit. Central south area to the exit. Hopefully no fuss and no muss. And once you make it to the end of the tunnel, you just gotta zone back out. And you shouldn't have any trouble with the mobs on the other side. Maybe. Now if you're feeling unconfident, you can pop up invisible here as well, which I just feel like my luck calls for it at this point in time. And once we are back on the Davoi map, we want to head to, well, the first of the pools, which is actually pretty easy to get to from here. Kinda just want to head this way, to the west again. And I believe the first of the pools we're looking for, let me check the orcs here. Yeah, they're all easy prey. We might want to bring up Trust just in case. Like I said, just in case. Everything here is still side aggro, so if you feel confident and invisible, you can use that. And the first pond we want to do is this one, which I think was the Howling Pool, the Howling Pond. And now your orb will become the Pink Orb. That's the Howling Pond. Now from here you can go, I suppose, to pretty much any one you want to go to next. But it seems like we want to just head clockwise onto, what is that, E8. The pool at E8. Now you will definitely need invisible here, eventually. Probably sooner than I think, so I'm just going to pop it up real quick. So yes, I am not confident in the level of the upcoming orcs, so it's going to have invisible up and my trusts out. I believe in here, let's see, let's check them. Yep, decent challenge. So, always be safe rather than previous versions of me who may have died several times in that particular spot because they aggroed every single orc while running through. I'll digress and just continue on down the pathway, over this bridge, I believe. Yep. And it's mostly a straight shot to our next goal. Mostly, but not completely. Now, I love the fact that the prerequisites for these quests are pretty much, well, quests and missions are pretty much the bulk of some of these, so that's neat too. So once we get here, we want to take the next intersection south to the pool, stifle a hiccup, drop invisible, and dip our orb into the Screaming Pond. And now we will have a red orb. Let's see, do I need to invisible on out of here? Probably not, but at the same time, let's not be silly. Now, you might think we're going to the third pond on the map here right away. We are not, actually. We want to head north now, because we are going to a different spot on the map. Let me bring that up real quick. We are going to what appears to be E6. That can't be right. H6. My eyes are good. Because I believe that is where the next pond actually is. A little bit off the map there. So we just kind of want to make our way through here. These boys are easy prey, so if you're less than level 60, they will aggro you. And if you are level 60, they may aggro you. And yeah, this is the level range you're going to be in here, most likely. And the orc will definitely get in my way and stand right there. So, now we want to head this way to get to our next location. Potentially. I can brain. Yeah, just kind of heading through this area is the quickest way to get there. Get ourselves down in here, which you'll be here again, potentially, if you're doing some things like Paladin, potentially. You might find yourself back in here again, once again. Probably. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure there's a lot of reasons to come down in here. Except for certain other artifact quests that might take place within the monastic cavern. Potentially. Depending on, you know, what jobs you're doing and what artifact armor you're going to need. Pardon me. Artifact armor guides will be coming soon, actually. You definitely want to mind you're invisible as you're going around this way, because that's the higher level orcs right there, and they will aggro up to 99. Which, if you recall from the Paladin guide, is a thing. That's if you watch the Paladin guide, of course. So we just kind of want to make our way down this way here. And I am leaving all of this in so you can find all of the things that you need to find. Now down here, once you get off the map, you get into the weeds a little bit. I'm going to head this way, if I'm not mistaken. And this will take you up the hill to the... there it is somewhere. The Groaning Pond, where you want to drop your invisible and dip your orb. And now you have the Blood Orb. The orb looks clouded. I don't think we're going to need invisible. Well, we are going to need invisible, actually. Because we're going by that spot again. Now what's the quickest way out of the pond? Well, we can head south to the south-southwest here, or we can go back the way we came. I believe I'm just going to take the south-southwest because it's about the same. Looks like it's about the same distance. So for that, we just want to make our way back up the river. Back past the orcs. Around the fishies. If for some reason you're here below level 30 or so, the fishies will aggro. I don't know why you would be doing this at that level, but to each their own, I suppose. You just want to make your way back around, down and around. And this away. And then up a this away. And eventually, we will find our way back to where we're actually going. Which is almost all the way up the river. Now, you can see the river goes off the map above, but there's not really much there besides the occasional warble and I think another pond. That's a fishing location, I think. And there may be a notorious monster that spawns there, but I don't know entirely. I don't believe it's really useful for anything in particular. So I'll just kind of digress and move on past it. But you can see here we come to the little hill out of the river that we want to make our way up and back onto the main paths. Now from here, where do we want to go? Well, let's check our map. We want to head to that pond right there in the far eastern corner. Alright, so if you're at the appropriate level, you can drop invisible. I don't think these guys, yeah, they're all too weak. And from here, we just want to make our way over yonder. Now, you definitely want to have a White Mage Trust, or if you're on White Mage yourself, you definitely want to have the spell Kursna. Why would we need that? Well, you'll see. The short friend that gave us this quest may not have mentioned everything that was involved in it. You don't need to go around this way. I am just going around this way because I got slightly lost again, and, well, it is as it does. You want the next right out of this section here, which would be the final right out of this section here, I believe. Heading us off to the northeast here, I hope. Yes. Yes, that is where we are going. As you can see here, we want to head south at the next intersection. And don't mind me getting horribly, horribly lost. I do as I do. As I do as I do. Too weak, yep, okay. Now, this is the Wailing Pond, and when we dip our orb into this particular pool, that happens. That is the Cursed Orb, and I am cursed, so let us rid us of that, and I will heal up real quick. So I may have been a little off when I said real quick, but now we want to make our way back to the middle of the zone again. Now, that is back to H11, which is a bit of a walk. I'm sure you can make it there on your own at this point in time, so I'll just cut when I get there. And so here we are back where we need to be. If you have trouble finding your way, just let me know in this guide and I'll upload the full video. I'll keep it around just in case for that particular purpose. We just want to zone back into the monastic caverns right now. And once we're ready, we want to hit invisible again and make our way through here. Back through the monastic cavern to the central island of Davoi. Now, once again, I am going to cut here. If you find yourself needing the walkthrough, let me know. I'm going to save this raw footage, and we'll do it that way. And once you zone back out into Davoi, you want to just do invisible back up again. You don't want to really make too many big moves, unless you get lucky and there's somebody here farming them, which there is not. And they are right there, too. Wow. Don't really need trusts right this second. You definitely want to pop them, though, if you want to go through the banishing wall. So, yeah. We're just going to make our way back down this way. Take the left turn here, because there's no real other way to go there. And hang a left here, and head north to the little bridge and the little critter that gave you the quest. Now you can safely drop invisible once you're on the bridge, most likely. Just keep an eye out, just in case. Chat with this person for a cutscene, and that will turn your Cursed Orb into a Crimson Orb. Congratulations, now you have the Crimson Orb, and that is all the prerequisites you need if you follow these guides to finish Whence Blows the Wind. That's all for this guide. I shall see you in the next one. Do the things if you're so inclined, Patreon if you're feeling generous, and I shall see you in the next one. Until then, happy gaming.